Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nokuhle, and today's video is a very exciting one. So a couple of weeks ago I did top 10 mid-luxury vehicles, and the Mini team reached out and said, since you were so impressed with our website, how about you come and check out a ride? So I was like, say no more. So today's video is actually going to be a review. I'm going to show you what I like and what I don't really like about the Mini. But before we get into that, let's have a look at what Mini Financial Services has in store for us.
My name is Nokuhle, and I am a personal finance creator. Some of the videos I've made include how to buy shares, top 10 affordable cars, how to file your taxes, side hustles, interviews, you name it, I've done it. Note, these videos do not constitute financial advice. My aim is to plant the idea, it's up to you to water it. And if you enjoy my content, please tip me with a like, comment, and subscription.
As you guys already know, I have a strong love for cars, but what truly excites me is a favorable financing arrangement. Like I always mention, there are many ways to finance your vehicle, whether it's through your own bank, a new bank, or a dealer's in-house financing department. Just make sure that you're making a well-informed decision at all times and that you know the implications of it all. Let's have a look at what Mini Financial Services has for us. Your choice throughout the family range, from a Mini 1 hatch to a JCW hatch. The Mini Electric is not included in this offer. The offer is calculated over 48 months and has a contract limit of 80,000 kilometers. This is available via Mini Financial Services, which is a division of BMW Financial Services, FSP 4623. Okay, but what does this all mean? Let me personally evaluate. Firstly, the range to choose from. I like that it's open to the entire family range, excluding the Mini Electric, so you won't feel pushed into a model you aren't crazy about. The zero deposit portion is a practical concept in today's world, as a lot of people buying Minis are young professionals who may not have been able to save up for a deposit during university, but still need a car for work. The offer being over 48 months / 4 years, this means you pay off your car sooner than usual. I know most people will finance their cars over 6 years, but when you're honestly looking at the car market, most of us are wanting to change cars well before the 6-year mark. So the shortened term kind of makes sense. And lastly, the contract limit of 80,000 kilometers. Mini is able to offer a guaranteed future value on your chosen model. This shields you from depreciation, provided you adhere to the mileage limit and fair wear and tear. The guaranteed future value also means you know the value of your car at the end of your contract, and you can either choose to keep it, return it, or trade it in for a newer model.
So naturally, I'm not a fan of feeling limited, especially on my own car. But when I look at this 80,000 kilometer mileage thing, or 20,000 per year, I realize it's not too bad. It actually does suit my usage. For example, I worked in auditing, so 1 week I'm driving 40 kilometers away, the next week I'm driving to a whole different province. Not to mention the frequent road trips I used to do from Johannesburg all the way home in KZN. But even with that, I looked at my total usage, and I'm sitting at about 16,000 kilometers per year. So unless you drive for a living, you should be fine with this 20,000. However, please check with your financing team what happens if you do exceed this limit, or better yet, why don't you visit your nearest Mini dealership and their friendly staff will help you, and ask them about this 0% deposit offer that they have. It's running until the 31st of March 2024, so do not miss out. Now that we're done with the serious stuff, let's get into the review. So naturally I love the Mini, and I know a lot of you do too, but I don't know about you, but the first time I saw a Mini was in the Italian Job. And the second time was the Red Bull team that used to give us free Red Bulls on campus. And one thought always crossed my mind is, how cool are they? Anyways, I'm the cool kid today because when I'm driving this car, everyone is staring at me and I love it. But on the real, now that I've seen the car and I've physically been in it, I just want to say the Mini is not that mini. It is quite big. I honestly thought it would be a small car, nippy, but no, it's a big car. And I know the profile I have in my head is, you know, spunky, dynamic person, but it could actually be a family car. Like, it's big. Even the boot space is kind of big, so it's like, Mini, you're not that mini anymore. But maybe it's also just the Countryman, so the others might still be smaller. But overall impression, I love it. 10 out of 10. And one thing about the Mini, guys, you don't see a lot of them on the road, okay? And I think this is why when it's time for us to buy cars, we kind of forget that Mini is a consideration. But what I also love about that is that because you don't see so many of them, it's a timeless piece. Whenever someone sees a Mini, they stop and they stare. Doesn't matter if it's a 2010 version or a 2024, they will stare. It is a Mini. Love that about the brand. So the Mini is actually quite a powerful car. This also means it's quite easy to speed, but this is no surprise because the engine is powered by BMW, so it's quite a nice drive. I've actually found that I enjoy driving it more long distance, so I recently took a trip in it and it felt like such an easy drive. The car just moves. And then on fuel consumption, I'm actually quite impressed because it's such a powerful car. I expected it to chow a lot of fuel, but it didn't. I'm still traveling on the same fuel that I poured like many days ago, so I'm really impressed. Definitely a car I'd love to use as someone who's financially savvy. But my favorite part about this car, let me show you. So these are not just normal tires, they're called run flats, and I didn't know what a run flat was, but I knew the essence. So run flats actually allow you to continue to drive even if you've actually hurt your tire. So whether you've popped it or hit a pothole, you don't have to get out of the car and check it immediately. You can still drive for another 80 kilometers to a safer place before you have to actually investigate and see what you need to do. I love this because in a country like South Africa, it's not always safe to actually investigate, especially if you're driving at night as a young female like myself. So run flats are definitely my favorites. I always thought these were from movies or you had to pay super big prices for these, but now that I know that they're easily available, I definitely need to get myself these. But like I mentioned, the car is still bigger than I anticipated, so I'm still struggling to park it, and for that I will be giving it a driving experience of 8 out of 10. Not sure if it's a me problem or a them problem, but yeah, something needs to give, or maybe I just need to drive it for longer. So the interior for this car is absolutely stunning. I love how these seats feel. It's so spacious. I feel like my passengers would also enjoy being here. And also, guys, they have like USB-C charging ports here. And I know I'm always like, it's so unfair as a passenger that you can't charge and the charging can only happen in front. But this car has got us sorted. Really love the interior. I feel like they definitely didn't just focus on the outside and forget about the inside. Not to mention the infotainment center, but we're getting to that. So for interior, I'm going to give them a steady 9 out of 10. When it comes to technology and features, I feel like there's so much with the Mini. So for example, the infotainment area is absolutely gorgeous. Not just the fact that it's so distinct, like there is no confusion about what car you're in, it's definitely a Mini, but also the ring actually changes color. So depending on your outfit, I don't know if you're like me, you can actually change it to orange, pink, whatever you want. Also, their CarPlay is built in, so it doesn't have to be connected using a USB cable. I also love the fact that there's a built-in navigation, weather and news segment. So even if you're out of range or you don't have data, you can still navigate from wherever you are. And this is because Mini has a built-in SIM card, which they pay for because they want you to be able to reach them should you ever need to in an emergency. Another feature that is great is the back camera when reversing, as well as the sensors. I've actually missed it a couple of times because I'm like, I don't trust it. What if there's something that the camera doesn't capture? But it's been pretty accurate each time. But obviously, because I am in my luxury girl era, my favorite features are closing the boot with the button. I'm in my rich girl era. I love that. I can't even help myself. I love that. And the mini sign that shows up on the floor, which will make a great picture for my photo dump.
So for technology and features, 9 out of 10.
So the Mini is more expensive than your typical first car, which is why the Mini team has actually come up with this 0% deposit offer to encourage more people to walk in and check it out. In terms of practicality and ownership, a slight downside to mention, as seen via various Google searches, shows that Minis are often characterized as having high maintenance costs because of how rare the cars are. Meaning the secondary repair markets aren't familiar with these models, and often you'll have to service it at an official Mini or BMW dealer instead of your uncle's friend. But on the upside, because of the great care that goes into a Mini, previous buyers have actually said that when it was time for them to sell their cars, they managed to get great value for it. So whether you're in the mood for a new car or you just need a new change, don't worry, your timeless piece will keep its value.
For practicality and ownership, I'll give them 6.5 out of 10.
Overall, this car has scored 42.5 out of 50, which is a distinction in my world. So congratulations to the Mini team. I now understand why you guys were so confident to say, come through, grab a car, let's show you what we're really made of. Thank you so much to you guys for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed this Mini. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.